Hi guys!
Hello. Oh, here we are. Take one.
Woohoo! Take one. Hopefully that'll be the only take.
Yes.
Unlike last time.
Yeah.
The internet went out and we had to do part 2. So, as you all know, this is the Next Generation webinar / Facebook Live. I always say webinar, but we're on Facebook and we're live. So it's Facebook Live. And we're tackling question 4 out of the 5-question series. What can I do? And we have a guest. Hi. Would you like to be called Chris or Natalie?
Chris.
Okay. Chris is with us, and she's going to help us tackle this question. Question number 4. What can I do? But before we get started, we have a couple of announcements to make. Now, we're going to try something a little bit different this month. We're going to try doing a noon webinar / Facebook Live. I always say webinar. My gosh. We're going to do a noon Facebook Live, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that. So I believe it's the 25th.
Yes, October 25th.
We're going to be noon Eastern time. So for all of you guys in Pacific time, that would be, I believe, 8 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully you can catch us on the way to school.
Yeah.
If not, check your phones at lunchtime, and you'll be able to check us out.
Or if you need to, after school.
Yes.
Yes. So we thought
Don't break the rules.
Yeah, that's right. Don't watch us during school unless it's lunch break.
Yes. Unless you're allowed to take your phone out and
That's
watch
right.
something on it. If not, wait till you get home. But you can always rewatch us. We're playing all the time. Replay, replay. So, last week we taught, or not last week, but the last time we had a break in between the question series, the 5-question series, because something big happened. A hurricane. A crisis. Crisis! Ah! But as we learned last time, crisis is actually an opportunity.
Yes.
And what we're going to tackle today is how you have the potential to make that an opportunity.
Yes.
So, what is potential, Melissa?
Well, potential is your untapped capability, or it's what's another word? It's your true ability.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we don't see our true ability because it hasn't happened yet. So like every time, I guess, you use your potential and do something, you have more potential behind that. And it just keeps, the more you do, the more potential you have and the more that comes out.
Definitely.
So we don't think of our capability or our ability as something that hasn't happened yet. We just think, oh, this is what I can do and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's not it. Just like, oh, my seed. Hang on.
Oh, we forgot a seed.
It's over here.
The capitalization of potential.
If you guys have seen us before, you know about this. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. This is a mango seed. And a lot of times we always start with, okay, what is this? And a lot of people say it's a mango seed. But if you look at its potential, it's a mango forest. Because every time you plant a seed, it grows and it produces more seeds, and then it plants itself and produces fruit and turns into seeds, and so it's a forest. That's an example of potential for the seed.
Another great example for you guys, since you're in school, is science. This is the only thing I remember from science besides the Putnick square, because I got to draw in class and not get in trouble. But so this example was really cool because we got to like drop things. It was kind of fun, drop things and it breaks and you still don't get in trouble for it. But they talked to us about potential energy versus kinetic energy. So a great example of potential is looking at potential energy. Potential energy is just energy that's stored up inside of you waiting to be let out. And once it's let out, it becomes kinetic energy. But it never, until you die, you never run out of potential energy because you always have something stored up until you take your last breath. Right. So taking your last breath is energy. So you have to have that energy stored up inside of you to be able to use it. So you can think of unending potential, never-ending potential as potential versus kinetic energy, or as a little mango seed that, hey, somebody's here. Hey, Messina! You're far away. The phone's really far away. So if I lean forward, I'm trying to read your name.
We're in extra large chairs today, and so
we have to zoom way out so that everybody can see us and see everybody. So think of the seed or think of energy. Oh, she says, hi, guys. emoji. So think of the seed or potential energy versus kinetic energy. Do you want to share anything? She's a homeschool mom, so she's kind of like a teacher, but a home teacher. So
Yeah, well, I mean, the subject is what can I do, right?
yeah.
So I think for me, the big thing is looking around. What do you have around you? What do you have around you that it's probably right in front of you. And I know for me, home education, just reaching that community with this teaching, there are so many books around me. You start reading them, you start learning. You know, a lot of it is you just lack knowledge. So look around you and see what you have. It's probably right around you on a bookshelf somewhere, or something that you've maybe forgotten that you bought that you were interested in. You can do anything, and you're probably doing it, just you don't realize it yet, or it's around you, and you had the desire before and you didn't really know why, and you kind of forgot why. So just look around you and see what you have.
Definitely. So with potential, we look inside ourselves like a seed, or we look around us and see all the knowledge that we thought we didn't know, but we really did. Or we just weren't introduced to it. And now it's in our brains, so now it's inside of us and is waiting to be tapped into.
Yes.
So let's think of all the dreams that we have, that we don't really see ourselves doing, but we do see ourselves doing it because we're dreaming it. So think about all the things that you say, oh, I don't know, I really want to do this. Like Chris just said, I had it right in front of me, but I didn't think I could do it. So think about all the dreams. What is your biggest dream? What's the biggest thing that you can think of that you really wanted to do, but you're like psyching yourself out, saying, no, I really can't do it. I don't think I can do it. I wasn't able to do it the first time, so why do I think I can do it this time? Well, you're psyching yourself out of your own potential.
Yes.
Like, honestly, you are psyching yourself. We're going to fail sometimes. Like, it's just going to happen. That's just part of life, because it tests our stamina, our perseverance, and the faith in ourselves, and also the faith in the principles that we're activating, such as the potential principle. So when you have a big dream, and if it doesn't happen the first time you do it, keep going. I think it was it was Thomas Edison. It took him like 99 times to make the light bulb.
Oh, a lot, yeah.
It was like 99 times. He tried 99 times. And who knows, it could have been more. He just documented 99 of them. Like, still, 99 times, I think I would have given up after, like, the third one. Like, this isn't working!
But it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, maybe it won't work. Yeah. But his passion was to solve that problem. We need light without using a candle.
Exactly.
And he was so mad about, I guess, probably using candles, right?
Yeah.
That he wanted to find an alternative way.
Yeah, something that would last a little bit longer than the wax on his candle, or that wouldn't burn him because the wax dripped on him in the middle of the night when you're trying to find your way around. The wax burns you. So he kept going. After 99 times, he finally had success. And his big dream was light that lasts a long time. And thank you, Thomas Edison, for that, because now you can see us. And we can possibly see you, at least your names. So with that being said, what is your big dream? Think beyond that even, because once you're gone, your dream should be carried on by somebody else. And that's what is so beautiful about potential. Once the casing of this seed is gone, the essence of the seed becomes the tree. And then the tree carries on the seed's legacy into fruit. And then that fruit carries on the legacy into more seeds, which then end up becoming more trees and more fruit and more seeds and more trees and more fruit and more seeds and more trees and more fruit and more seeds and trees and fruit. And I could keep going on and on and on, because this will keep going on and on and on.
Right.
And it all started from one seed.
Yeah.
So if you just take your one dream, that one big dream that you have, and think beyond it, and somebody else will say, Rose, hi Rose, and think beyond it, and say, I can do this, even if it takes me 99 times, or 99 plus times, or maybe 5 times, or maybe 2 times, or maybe 1,000 times. However many times it takes me, I know I can do this. This is my passion, and this is what's built inside of me, so I have to let it out. It's going to be like my little nephew said, when I hear music, I just have to dance. But when you think about it, you just have to do it. Like, it just has to happen. You have to let the potential out. So don't let yourself psych yourself out of being yourself.
Right. My son is learning this concept. He has, since 8 years old, wanted to be a gunsmith, like his grandfather. Wow. So this year, he's like, well, I'm just going to do it, Mom. You keep telling me it's inside of me. He's like, well, it's not going away. It's something I've always wanted to do. And so he's now being apprenticed with my stepdad, his grandfather.
Awesome.
So he's doing that now. He's actually doing what he's learning. He's putting in the time. He's investing, himself in serving. my stepdad, and learning the gunsmithing trade, which is almost a lost art. But for whatever reason, he is passionate about it. It's one of the things that he's working on now. So he's excited about that.
And guys, he's your age. He's 16.
16.
Yeah.
He's 16 years old.
You know what's so great about that is he is actually getting involved in learning his passion, getting to be the best of his best.
Yes.
Whereas if he didn't do that, he'd just go get a job that makes
Exactly.
money, and he'd be thinking about it. He'd be doing it maybe as a hobby if he's lucky, he has time. You know, and then you're not fulfilled because you have a job and you have a hobby that you'd rather be doing all the time. So go to your passion and use that potential. Get started at every little step.
Right, and make sure you write it down, because writing it down is a big key. You have to document these things, even if they seem random, because that's what he did. He started writing down gunsmith, shop, land, all this stuff. He's writing it down, and so I think that's a very important component to your potential. It's in there.
Yes.
Right. Just write it down, even if it's weird. I have some stuff written down that I'm like, really? Okay. But it's important.
Yeah.
So don't psych yourself out of being
Right.
yourself.
No.
So we talked about, this is my favorite part. Oh my gosh. So, all of it's my favorite part. I'm sure I've said it a billion times, but this is my other favorite part. And I found this favorite part after I was reading one of Dr. Miles' books when in the process of rewriting the School of Influence workbook. And in this book, he talked about his trip he took. I'm going to play with the little hairs like I did last time. Around, and he's touristing around, and he's seeing all the things that London has to offer, all the nice, scenery and everything. And the tourist guy, the guy who was helping him, saw somebody he knew, so he went off and started going to talk to this guy. So Dr. Miles kept walking, and he walked near a cemetery, and he's like, I'm just going to go to the cemetery and look. And, he loves history. He loved history and all the historical things. So he's like, I'm going to go look and see the history of the people that lived here. So he's going through it, and he sees a tombstone of a young child. And according to the tombstone, the child only lived to be 4. And he had just finished talking about potential to these thousands of people. So he's, contemplating, he's thinking, and he's like, okay, God, how could a 4-year-old fulfill their potential? Like, he's only 4. What was he born to do that he could accomplish in 4 years? And, just being 4 years old. And then he kept walking through as he's thinking about it, and he sees on every single tombstone, rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in peace. He's like, well, I wonder if all these people are truly resting in peace, because how can you rest in peace if you haven't fulfilled and maximized and released all the potential that's inside of you? So think about all that energy built, all the potential energy versus the kinetic energy. It's all built inside of you, like a big hot air balloon or a big balloon that has a bunch of bouncy balls bouncing all around in the balloon. And there's so many bouncy balls, and you keep adding more and more and more because it's being built inside of you. And without releasing it, how can that bouncy ball or the balloon, how can it rest if all the bouncy balls are just jumping around and around and around? It's the same thing with us. If your potential is capped inside of you, how can you truly rest in peace if you don't let it out? See, we're called and built with all of it inside of us to give it out. We're supposed to die empty, which that sounds morbid because we use the word die, but when we transition from earthly states, I guess, from being on the earth to not being on the earth anymore in our physical bodies, we're supposed to be empty and in essence of we've given everything that we've been created with. Because you weren't created just with a dirt body and a heart inside of it and a brain and of vocal cords and all the things just to live physically on the earth. You are actually a spirit, and the physical body is just here so that your spirit can be here. So your spirit holds everything that you were created to do in it. It's just holding it inside of it, like that balloon with all the bouncy balls, and you got to let it out so that the spirit is fulfilled and is able to die knowing that it's fulfilled, like knowing that it gave everything that it was created to do. So you can only truly rest in peace, like all the tombstones say, if you've actually died empty. So we challenge you, even at a young age. Andrew's 16, so her son is 16, even at a young age, he's starting to do it now. And if he didn't start now, who knows? Like, then he would have to play catch up.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not like people who are going to be his age, you know, when they grow up. He's not going to be like them trying to catch up. He's going to be like, yeah, I've been a gunsmith for like the past 20 years. Because that's what I've been working on it since I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so in 20 years from now, he's going to be like, yeah, I'm like the best in the United States because I've been working at it since I was 16 years old.
When the potential of after he becomes a gunsmith too, it just gets even bigger and bigger. So his dream is going to continue to grow with his skills of being a gunsmith, and I mean that is what will fulfill his dream and then become his legacy after he's gone. So
Definitely.
it's not, you don't just, he's not just going to be a gunsmith and then, okay, check, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like more, because it's more in,
Yes.
in your
Definitely.
spirit.
Definitely. So what else does a tombstone have on it? It has the day you were born, it has the day you died, but there's something really important that's in between. There's something really important that's in between, and it's a little dash. And what Dr. Miles Monroe used to say is like, he used to say, I can't say it verbatim because it's been a while since I've heard him say it, but he used to say that your life consists of that little dash. Whatever you do with that little dash, that is your life. Because all you have is the time between your birth and your death. And what you do with that, that's your life. What you do with your time is your life. Time equals life. So, because life consists of time, it's broken up in time. So what you spend your time on is what you spend your life on. So if you spend your life on fulfilling and releasing your potential, then what you're going to get is exactly what you give. You'll have a fulfilled life because you fulfilled it with using your potential. So what do you want your dash to represent? Do you want your tombstone to say that you truly are resting in peace? Do you want the dash to represent something of productivity and effectiveness? Or, yeah, she was a good mom, or he was a good dad, and they were a good person, and cool. Cool. Like, and then they remember you for that, and then remember you for, you know, maybe 2 years, 3 years, and they keep living on in their life because they're supposed to. There's nothing wrong with that, but you never left a legacy because you never released what was built inside of you. But you can release what's built inside of you and leave an amazing legacy that changes the entire world because of what's inside of you.
And it also inspires others to have the same, you know, passion to continue on with theirs. And so then it just keeps going and going.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But what does it take to do that?
Well, first you have to know your gifts or your talents, your passion, what you want, what problem you want to solve. And we've talked about that several times. So, and then you also have to have the attitude. Okay, I have to take this little step. Sometimes those little steps are uncomfortable. But you have to just keep taking them, because if you don't take them, your potential is inside you, like inside in the ball with the balls. It's contained.
Yeah.
So unless you get going, your potential cannot get out and be there for you to keep growing in what you want to do.
So you have to remember the big A word, attitude. Attitude. Or you can look at it as an M word, mentality.
And that's when you, like, if you do one of the steps and you do have a failure, that's not what keeps, you know, you don't internalize it and say, oh my gosh, I never want to feel that again. Well, none of us want to feel failure again. We're all like, oh, that was not fun at all. I mean, everybody can relate to that. But you don't let it stop you. You just go, okay, maybe I need to do it a different way. Maybe I need to do something different first. Maybe, maybe it was too fast. Maybe it was, too slow at something. Maybe, there's so many options. Look at it and say, okay, what can I try next time that would be different? Because, trying the same thing over and over does not work.
It's called insanity.
It's called insanity, yeah. Thank you. I was going to say that, but I wasn't.
We can. It's called
insanity. Which we all know that, too. So, and we know you guys have started school.
Yes.
And sometimes this happens at school when we're younger. Maybe a test score or something happens, and that's when your attitude or your mentality comes in to help you. Yes, it's tested. Because sometimes we do study, and then it just doesn't work out and the test is really bad. I mean, we've all had that happen. And then sometimes you don't study and you make a really good grade, and you're like, I think I know how, but I'm not sure how I did that. And but
it's a miracle.
Yeah.
It's a school year miracle.
But we all know you can't do that every single time. You have, you do have to study for tests, and if you do your best, then, you should get a grade. But we all get graded from tests and situations, whether it's at school or at work. And sometimes you can't listen to that.
Do not let your test define you.
Exactly.
It means nothing. Yeah.
Just like Melissa said, we could have really awesome study times and then have a bad test day, and then we could have like really bad study times where we just don't do it, and a really great test day. So just like the tests fluctuate, your test scores are going to fluctuate, but you yourself is always going to be you yourself from the time you were conceived in your little mommy to the time you die.
Yes.
So you will be the same from that time to that time. There will be changes in maturity and different things like that, but you as a person will always be you as a person. So if your test scores fluctuate, but you as a person only matures but doesn't fluctuate like the test scores, then we really can't define ourselves by test scores.
Correct. And if people try to do that, like, okay, sometimes, you have the testing at school and they tell you, okay, you're an average student, you're a C student. Do not think that you are a C person.
Right.
That was just a grade that you have, and that you have all the potential, because your potential does not come from school. Your potential comes from your creator, and your potential's inside of you, and every step you take will give you more potential. So I guess it's more of a labeling thing that's happened sometimes in life, at school, at our jobs, wherever. So that's where your attitude and your mentality comes in. We just wanted to make sure that helps you with that dash on your tombstone, because do not believe in that, because your potential is greater with the more that you do. And so since school has just started, everybody's hitting the books really hard and really getting going for this year, that you keep that in mind.
And one little side note, attitude can actually be challenged when you have a great success too.
Yes.
Because when you have a great success, you're like, woohoo, I did it, I made it, let's just chill. Don't chill.
No.
Yes.
If you're still breathing, there's still time to increase and improve and get better. And that means your dream is bigger than what happened right there in that success. So if you're still breathing, take the success to the next level and keep going. Because that means the dash is going to be a little bit longer than that success. And you want it to, because then you make more impact.
Yes, true.
Just a side note. So always remember that, I'm not going to play with the hair, but always remember that your potential, whether you think of it as the potential energy or the seed, is inside of you. It's like those little bouncy balls in the balloon, and it's waiting to be released, but you have to have the right attitude. And we didn't talk about environment.
Oh, no. Environment, yes.
That's a really big one. So if you have to have the right attitude, and we'll just talk about environment really quick after I fix that setting. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, so environment incorporates your attitude, because your environment can be different on the outside, but you create your environment based on the attitude. So many people think that their environment just means the IQ score or the grade, or they think that their environment is the house that they live in, or the job that they have, or the school that they're in, the neighborhood they're in, the country they're in, or the friends that they have. Your environment is not that. Your environment is your attitude. If you're a true agent of change, which we all know that you are, because either you're manifesting it or it's hidden inside of you. Sorry. Hopefully you're manifesting it, and if not, you will.
Yeah, you will.
By the end of this video, you will be. We guarantee it, whether the end of the video is now or in the near future. You will be. So, but you have to allow yourself to create the environment with your attitude. Because a true agent of change influences the environment doesn't influence them. So whatever's going on around you, think of it as a pin to your balloon, but your attitude makes that barrier around the balloon so the pin doesn't touch it. So people could be haters. We all have haters. Just put your glasses on. Just put your shades.
Shake it off.
The hair blockers. And shake it off. Shake it off. Shake it off. Taylor Swift, thank you. So, but just shake it off, put the hater blockers on, and keep going. Because your attitude is what makes the difference. And believe it or not, the haters are going to see the attitude and be like, well, she wasn't phased or he wasn't phased. Why? How come you're not phased about what's going on? I tried to bully you and it didn't really make any difference. How come? And then you get to be like, because my attitude, bro, the special A or the special M in my life. And you can even make the symbols and say that's why. And then you get to express the whole potential principal to them, and they get to be living their dash out. And then we have a whole entire world ripple effect of everybody living their dash out.
Wow.
And then everybody dies empty, and they can truly rest in peace with their tombstone, without their tombstone lying.
Yeah, and I was going to say too, you probably have a lot of homework. I don't know if you're in IB or maybe honors classes, whatever. The most important homework you can do is on yourself. So yes, after you do your homework for school that's required, Ecclesiastes says, sow your seed in the morning and then in the evening, don't let your hands be idle. So figure out, do the homework on yourself. You'll never regret that. That's what your life is. That's what's going to make the difference, and who you are, and your education will back that up. But that's an important thing. It's hard. It's hard. It's kind of hard to do homework. It takes time and energy. So I think that's important to do that homework.
Definitely.
Once you know where you're going, your passion and your dream, and you realize how, maybe not every single bit of that homework is going to help you, but some of it will, or maybe something in that homework will help you, and it's going to get you there. So it's easier to see why you have to do more stuff. I know when I was in school, some things I was like, why do I even have to do this?
It even makes that more bearable if you know what you're going to do. Okay, I have to do this so I can get here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because there's some things in school that the teachers say you're going to use later on in life.
Sometimes it's just to learn how to deal with the personality that you may not be so happy about.
That's true.
And some of those things...
We're still waiting to use... No, but that's okay. We know it. It's in our minds.
Like the whole algebra equation stuff.
I break out the X every once in a while. But don't ask me to do the X and the Y again.
Or the X, Y, and Z.
You could do 3 of them.
I don't know when I'm going to use it. I probably am subconsciously using it without knowing I'm using it. Or not.
It's okay.
But just amuse the teacher. Show them that you are beyond the IQ or the grade that they give you, that your potential is greater than that. And just fulfill what they want you to fulfill with those grades. Because once you get a good grade, it makes you feel good, makes you fulfilled, makes the teacher very proud, and your parents.
Yes.
And then it shows you that you can be successful in something even if you don't like it.
That's
all
right.
that much.
And you're built to figure it out.
Exactly.
Bring the kingdom with you every time you step in that school.
Woof woof.
There you go.
So, which leads us to our ending phrase. Always remember to think, be creative, and solve problems. So that's what figure it out means.
Exactly.
So as we close out, we're going to remind you that Wednesday the 25th, October 25th, we're going to be on at noon, not at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
So if you could catch us while you're at lunch, if you're allowed to. Or if you're on the Pacific side, you can catch us on the way to school, because it'll be 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And if not, you just, you know how to work Facebook. You
know how to find us.
You find us and watch us later.
Yes.
And always remember, you can post questions on Facebook if you have any questions, or you can inbox us if they're if they're more personal.
Yes.
Or you can email us, and I can post our email somewhere if it's not somewhere already.
Okay.
And visit our website. And I'll post that on Facebook, which I think it already is, but I'll post it again.
Yes. So don't hesitate to contact us if you have questions about what you can do. If you need help with your environment,
yes,
we're here for you as a sounding board and to be a part of your environment for you.
Yeah. Coach. Encouragement.
Yes.
All right. And the next question is going to be, where am I going? Which is the last question in the 5-question series.
Yeah.
Oh, which means we start a new series.
Oh, so if you have a topic you'd like us to address, you can put that in the comments below or email us or private, what do you call it?
Inbox.
Inbox.
That's what I say. It's probably private message, but I say inbox. Or just, inbox us. Or Instagram us. I never see any of you guys on Instagram. I know all of you follow us. Why aren't you? Why aren't you saying anything on Instagram? I know we don't post a whole lot, but we do post. So I would love to see your little hearts on Instagram too. Okay,
Exactly.
and see your ideas too. All right, peace out, guys.
Bye.
Think, be creative, and
Solve
solve
problems.
problems.